you need to be in the lowest interior part of a sturdy structure. Get there now. This is a dangerous situation that has been ongoing as this. I'm sorry, I'm getting choked.
It's okay. And I would advise anybody with kids, get the bike helmets on them. Put them in the basement. Put the helmets on them. You know, this is not a time to think about anything looking silly. Please stay safe. This is a very serious situation, as McCall is pointing out.
And we have now potentially had several tornadoes on the ground tonight, and there doesn't appear to be any let up at this point. And
we want you to be safe tonight. So if you're listening on the radio, if you're watching on your computer, please stay safe. This is an unbelievable night, really. This is incredible, all these tornado warnings and tornadoes that you feel that we've seen several.
Yeah, this is the unbelievable damage in this neighborhood. As I mentioned, the reason we're not able to,
Sean,
I just sent some pictures.
To you. Yeah, we're seeing that video now. I think you and Steve, your photographer, took this video.
Yeah.
It's actually a live picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Steve and I actually got a little bit separated as he and I were both trying to kind of get this story and get as many images as we can. So
we're going to stop this driver. Hey, don't go. Excuse me. Sorry, this is what we've been doing today, trying to make sure. It's so dark, you just can't see. Sorry about that. Want you to be safe.
And this is a live shot from our drone, our Sky 7 drone, showing that damage in the Miami Valley. Just amazing shot of just how devastating this is. Now, we spoke with a man whose house was damaged in West Milton. He describes for us what the storm felt like.
Definitely scary. Obviously be prepared. Keep your flashlights charged. Keep your batteries charged. Go to the basement when they tell you to go to the basement. Do what you're supposed to do.
This is the most unfortunate moment of the morning broadcast. We do now have one confirmed fatality in Salina. So we have been going all morning, hoping that moment wouldn't happen, but it did. That someone had lost their life. It was emotional for me.
Aside from all this damage here in this part of Salina, this neighborhood is also, so far, the only place where tragedy has struck. The Kanapkis' next-door neighbor was Dale Hanna. He is, so far, the only person to be killed in Monday's storms.
He was already in bed for the night asleep, and literally he did not see what was coming. It was probably a blessing for him, but it hurts our hearts as a community. We mourn with the family.
Honestly, it's the only tears that I've cried. This, it's a life. He didn't make it.
Tim Stein and his family of 4 were down here in the basement level. When they heard the tornado warnings, they rushed right down here, and they did just in time, because down there, huddled around the corner in the perfect spot, defended from anything that was flying around, they were completely untouched, totally safe. Almost the entire roof from the whole house was ripped off and into the kitchen. This is one of the most catastrophic areas that are inside this building right now. The roof is fully exposed.
Tonight we have Team 7 coverage of how our community is rallying together after 14 tornadoes.
But first, let's start with Newscenter 7's Sean Cudahy. He shares one man's harrowing story and updates us on the latest boil water advisory still active in some communities tonight. Sean?
Cheryl and James, we went ahead and hopped into Storm Tracker 7, and I want to show you why. This is something that we're seeing all over our communities this evening. Debris just starting to pile up in front of homes as people begin the process of cleaning up. They move everything that was destroyed up here to the curb, and that is something we're seeing all over the region. It's a sign the cleanup effort is well underway, an effort that will take a long time.
1, 2, 3.
As people powered through day 3 of storm recovery, the horrifying memories from Monday night were still so fresh for some.
Scared out of my life.
Jerome Ware says he and his wife were in the bedroom of their Trotwood home.
I was talking to her, and I was standing right here, and she kept saying, "That wall is moving."
The whole family started to run to the basement, but only the kids made it. Ware and his wife trapped as the ceiling caved in.
And I just kept feeling for her hand, and I finally found her hand and pulled her towards me.
They made it out safely. Now, a few nights later, The sounds of cleanup filled their neighborhood and streets across the region. Neighbors working hard, but helped by volunteers like these guys we found in Trotwood, stopping by their second tornado-ravaged city of the day.
We went over to Brookville and they had plenty of help, so we come down here to see if anybody needed any help.
I was going to drop off some water.
But one of the biggest needs in the community still is clean water.
You think you can carry two?
While many across Montgomery County learned Thursday they no longer have to boil, there are those, especially in the hardest hit areas, that still have to.
Need some water?
That's why this group rode around handing out bottled water as News Center 7 tagged along.
They're very thankful.
That's something we saw.
This here is a blessing.
God is good.
Meantime, back at what's left of Ware's house, despite this mess, he says he's thankful.
Yeah, I'm just happy everybody's alive in the community. They showed up, showed out.
And back out here live, if there are a number of communities here in the Miami Valley that are still under the boil advisory. And what we've done is we've posted a link on WHIO.com where you can actually go and check out your address. You can click right on it and see if the boil advisory is still active for your address. That's a question we've been getting from a lot of viewers, as well as wanting to know when the boil advisory might end. That is all dependent for those communities on EPA testing. So we will stay on top of that and let you know as soon as we find out new information. Live in Harrison Township, Sean Cudahy, News Center 7.
Bob and Catherine Claiborne's story lasts 50 years of marriage, much of it spent in this Harrison Township neighborhood off Main and Marquee. It was a neighborhood that Catherine Claiborne actually walked through on a fairly regular basis, walking a loop around the neighborhood. But last Monday afternoon, she stepped out of their home, and Bob didn't know it.
So then I went out and looked on the property, and she wasn't on the property.
Bob Claiborne says he went in his car and drove the neighborhood loop where his wife usually walked. He didn't find her, even with an expanded search. He then called 911. Deputies searched until the tornado hit. So did Bob and his family.
We searched the night through, right through the storm.
Claiborne says he never stopped hoping or looking until Tuesday night when deputies knocked on his door to confirm Catherine had been found under trees and debris.
It's overwhelming. But I have faith and hope and trust in God.
Claiborne says he's brought to tears by losing his wife. He's also brought to tears by the support he's received and all the professionals and neighbors that supported him and searched for her.
What I discovered is that my community was my family. I just hadn't met them. Yeah.
Claiborne says he's not sure if Catherine was a storm victim.
Probably yes and no.
Claiborne says the tornado may have killed his wife, but her dementia took her off the beaten path. He became a caregiver for the last 2 of their 50 years of marriage and doesn't regret a second.
The way I describe it is there's new ways to express love that you didn't have before. When we got married, we signed up for this.
Bob Claiborne says he just wanted to thank the Sheriff's Department, the EchoSearch team, and all of the people in this area that reached out to him. He said the Miami Valley proved to him that they have hearts of gold. In Harrison Township, Mike Campbell, News Center 7.
But the devoted dad didn't stop there.
This is the crib where I found the American Girl doll. I should probably get that out, huh?
The crib, I don't know if it's like gone or broken.
Timothy trusted us with this important update.
It's in our car right now.
What? Oh my God.
Do you want to go get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my God.
Tucked away safely in our news car.
I'm feeling really happy.
Was the crib.
Oh my God.
That upped the emotion.
Now I feel super, super happy. Like really happy.
For this 7-year-old girl whose father in this difficult time just wanted to provide some joy.
Thank you very much, and I'll hug him.
Here at the food bank, there's been a line of cars all day long. People are coming to donate this, bottled water and all kinds of items for tornado victims. This is the response in person. Let me tell you now about the online response. People from Hollywood, California, donating cash. It all started on social media.
It began with comedian Mike Birbiglia, whose career has taken him through Dayton to perform at Wiley's Comedy Club. Birbiglia issued a challenge on Twitter, starting with his own donation of $1,000 to the food bank in Dayton and calling out other performers to do the same. People at the food bank were shocked to find the plea for funds from the comedian just took off.
Honestly, when I first found out about it, it was through people texting me, do you see what's happening online? Mike Birbiglia had asked around what's a good place to donate to help those who have been affected by the Dayton tornadoes, and people started commenting that the food bank was a great place. And then he donated, and then he got others to donate, and it's just been massive, the response.
Laura Davenport says so far, with the help of the long list of other celebrities from all around the country who've responded, Birbiglia has raised $55,000, and that amount keeps growing. What's the reaction from other volunteers who are working here?
But if a lot of people do a little bit, it goes a long way. You can't expect one person to come in with $100,000, right? But if 100 people give $1,000 each, that's so much easier, and it builds so fast.
You can donate to the food bank online at their website, thefoodbankdayton.org, or bring your donations here in person.
If you want to join this effort to drop something off for the tornado victims, here you go. Leave open again here at the food bank Monday morning at 8 a.m. In Dayton, Jim Oddie, News Center 7.
Well, first, I'm just going to put this big pile into perspective. I am 4'11". I'm standing on a stump that is about maybe 3 feet tall. As you can see, this still towers way above me, and I'm told that it might be even 25 feet tall. But take a look from this vantage point.
It is the largest volume. It's about 50,000 cubic yards on this property right now.
Students line the hallways to show their support Thursday afternoon, one day before the big game.
I'm just excited for them to get out there and show them who Trotwood is.
It's a much different vibe in the city compared to 6 months ago when Memorial Day tornadoes left major damage.
I'm a resident of Trotwood, or was a resident of Trotwood.
DeWanna Coleman is an assistant principal at the school. Her house was damaged by the tornadoes. The football team was one of the first groups to show up to her home to help in the recovery process.
It just moves you to tears to know that they are thinking about us. The football team delivered water, cut down trees, and did all of those things for the community. So them going to the state championship really means something to us.
As the city continues to regroup, attention has shifted to the gridiron. A win would mean a lot for a community that's lost so much.
Tonight, a sign of the community rising after the Memorial Day tornadoes, as demolition is now underway at an old hotel nearly destroyed by an EF4. But long before Memorial Day, the Hotel Dayton has been a historic point of contention for people living near Wagner Ford Road. News Center 7's Katie Anderson is live at the site with why many people she heard from are glad to see it go. Katie.
Well, Molly, demolition has started here behind this fence at the hotel. Many people talk about a long, bad history even before the tornadoes. Now after, you can't help but notice the big red letters on the side of the building saying no trespassing and all of the damage left behind here. But soon this will all be gone.
It looked like a war zone when we came out.
Michelle Higginbotham's backyard overlooks the hotel on Wagner Ford Road in Harrison Township. She says it still looks the same as it did the day after the Memorial Day tornadoes hit.
And there was just debris from the motel all over our yard and glass everywhere.
But Friday, demolition crews were out cleaning up the site.
Structurally, it's still pretty good. The outer face of it is torn up, and a lot of the inside's torn up.
The hotel has been in limbo for years and has had several owners. The current owner is Dayton Fun Hotels. They were investing millions of dollars into the hotel, but after it was hit by the tornadoes, the company decided to tear it down.
It's made out of block and in concrete, so it's going to be a tough one to take down.
Over the years, News Center 7 has reported on several crimes happening at this hotel, including shootings. Higginbotham says it hasn't stopped.
A lot of scrappers have been, ever since it happened, have been going in and out of there, just taking what they can take to get money for. But yeah, so I'm glad to see it coming down.
But after a few whacks, years worth of problems come crashing down in seconds. Higginbotham says she's finally seeing the light at the end of the hallway.
It's a fresh start for a lot of people.
And is looking forward to what's next.
Hopefully something good will go in there and it doesn't just sit empty.
Now, contractors say they believe this demolition will take about 2 months to complete. Reporting in Harrison Township, Katie Anderson, News Center 7.